These are gout 통풍 drugs. Xyloprim, Loprin, allopurinol. Xyloprim, Loprin, allopurinol. Drug class, anti-gout. Indication: to treat gout or kidney stones, to reduce uric acid level. Allopurinol works by inhibiting the enzyme diazine oxidase. Side effect: skin rash, elevated liver enzymes, drowsiness, taste disturbances. Colchris, Mitagir, Colchin. Colchris, Mitagir, Colchicine. Colchris, Mitagir, Colchicine. Drug class is anti-gout. Colchris, Mitagir, Colchicine. Drug class, anti-gout. Colchicine works by inhibiting cell structures called microtubulus, which form part of the cytoskeleton. Indication: to treat, prevent gout flares. Familial Mediterranean fever. Side effect: nausea and vomiting, stomach pain, diarrhea, flu-like symptoms. Reclast, Zometa, zoledronic acid. Drug class, bisphosphonate. Reclast, Zometa, zoledronic acid. Drug class, bisphosphonate. Bisphosphonate work by blocking osteoclasts, the cell responsible for bone resorption. Indication: osteoporosis, Paget's disease of bone. Side effect: esophagitis, hypophosphatemia, atypical femoral fracture, osteonecrosis of the jaw. Advair, salmeterol, fluticasone. Drug class, bronchodilator. Advair, salmeterol plus fluticasone. It's a bronchodilator. Advair, salmeterol, fluticasone. Drug class, bronchodilator. Salmeterol works by beta-2 agonist. Fluticasone is a steroid that helps to reduce inflammation. Indication: prevent asthma attacks, prevent flare-ups in the COPD. Prevent flare-ups in COPD. Side effect: cold-like symptoms, headaches, hoarseness or deepened voice, muscle cramp. Actonol, risdronate. Drug class, bisphosphonate. Actonol, risdronate. Actonol, risdronate. Drug class, bisphosphonate. Bisphosphonate work by blocking osteoclasts, the cell responsible for bone resorption. Indication: osteoporosis, 골다공증, Paget's disease of bone. Paget's disease of bone is disrupt the replacement of old bone tissue with a new bone tissue. Side effect: esophagitis, 식도염, hypophosphatemia, 전인산 혈증. Atypical femoral fracture, 허벅지 뼈 fracture. Osteocorosis of the jaw. Fosamax, alendronate. Drug class, bisphosphonate. Fosamax, alendronate. Drug class, bisphosphonate. Bisphosphonate is a group of medicine that slow down or prevent bone loss, strengthening bones. Indication: osteoporosis, Paget's disease of bone. Bisphosphonates work by blocking osteoclasts, the cells responsible for bone resorption. Side effect: esophagitis, esophagus damage, hypophosphatemia. Hypophosphatemia is weakness of bone muscle, issues with blood, and etc. And other side effect is atypical femoral fracture and osteonecrosis of jaw. Boniva, ibandronate, drug class bisphosphonate. Boniva or Boniva, ibandronate, drug class bisphosphonate. Boniva, ibandronate, drug class bisphosphonate. Bisphosphonate work by blocking osteoclast, the cells responsible for bone resorption. Indication: osteoporosis and Paget's disease of bone. Side effect: esophagitis, hypophosphatemia, atypical femoral fracture, osteonecrosis of the jaw. And these drugs are for hormone drugs. Yes, ethinyl estradiol droperidone, drug class birth control pill. Yes, ethinyl estradiol droperidone, birth control pill. Yes, ethinyl estradiol droperidone, drug class birth control pill. Droperidone. Yes, ethinyl estradiol droperidone, drug class birth control pill. Indication: prevent pregnancy in women, treat moderate acne in women who are at least 14 years old and who are having menstrual periods. Droperidone is a progestin drug used commonly in hormone birth control and menopause hormones. Side effect: breast tenderness, weight gain, skin darkening, mood change, irritability. Synthroid, Levoxa, levothyroxine, drug class thyroid hormone. Synthroid, Levoxa, levothyroxine, drug class thyroid hormone. Synthroid, Levoxa, levothyroxine, drug class thyroid hormone. Indication: hypothyroidism, 갑상선 기하 저하증, hypothyroidism, secondary to hypopituitarism, and levoxythorine is a synthetic form of thyroid T4. Thyroid is a 갑상선 hormone. Side effect: diarrhea, vomiting, weight loss, palpitations, tremor, insomnia. Evista, raloxifense, drug class estrogen modulator. Evista, raloxifense, drug class estrogen modulator. Estrogen modulator blocks the effects of estrogen. Estrogen is a group of hormones in the breast tissue. Evista, raloxifene, estrogen modulator. Estrogen modulator blocks the effect of estrogen in the breast tissue. Indication: treat, prevent osteoporosis in postmenopause women, reduce risk of invasive breast cancer in postmenopause women. Side effect: hot flashes, leg cramps, flu-like symptoms, sweating, swelling in hands and feet. Primary vaginal conjugated estrogen, drug class estrogen replacement. Primary vaginal conjugated estrogen, estrogen, drug class estrogen replacement. Primary vaginal conjugated estrogen, drug class is estrogen replacement. Indication: treat vaginal symptoms of the menopause such as dryness, burning, itchiness, or painful sexual intercourse. Side effect: headache, pelvic pain, flushing, breast pain. Adhd, F14 alpha. Drug class: human erythropoietin. Epogen, apoetin alpha. Apoetin alpha. Drug class: human erythropoietin. Apoetin alpha. Apoetin alpha. Drug class: human erythropoietin. Poietin alpha helps your body reduce red blood cells, also known as erythrocytes. Indication: treats anemia, 빈혈증 caused by chronic kidney disease or chemotherapy. Side effect: increased blood pressure, fever, chill, cough, cluster migraine, mouth pain, trouble swallowing. Adhd, dutasteride. Drug class: 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. Adhd, dutasteride. Adhd, dutasteride. Drug class: 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. Adhd, dutasteride. Drug class: 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. The dutasteride blocks the male hormone dihydrotestosterone. Adhd, dutasteride. Drug class: 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. Dutasteride blocks the male hormone dihydrotestosterone. Indication: benign prostatic hyperplasma. Another indication is hormone therapy in transgender women. Side effect: impotence, reduced libido in men, breast tenderness, enlargement, hair growth, increased risk of breast cancer. Proscar, finasteride. Drug class: 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. Finasteride blocks the male hormone dihydrotestosterone. Proscar, finasteride. Drug class: 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. Finasteride blocks the male hormone dihydrotestosterone. Indication: benign prostatic hyperplasma. Indication: benign prostatic hyperplasma. Androgenic alopecia, also known as male pattern baldness. Indication: impotence, reduced libido in men, breast tenderness and enlargement, hair growth, increased risk of breast cancer. And these are dementia medications and Alzheimer's disease. Aricept, donepezil, acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, also called ACHE, found at postsynaptic neuromuscular junctions. Aricept, donepezil, acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. Acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. Aricept, donepezil, acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, also called ACHE, found at postsynaptic neuromuscular junctions. Aricept donepezol, drug class acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, also called ACHE. ACHE is found at postsynaptic neuromuscular or junctions. Indication: Alzheimer's disease. By inhibiting this enzyme, the drug ensures acetylcholine stays in neural synapses to enhance neurotransmission. Side effect: trouble sleeping, aggression, muscle cramps, abnormal heart rhythm. Namenda, memantine, drug class NMDA antagonist. By blocking NMDA receptors, the drug prevents over-excitability of neurons in the brain. Namenda, memantine, drug class NMDA antagonist. By blocking NMDA receptors, the drug prevents over-excitability of neurons in the brain. Indication: Alzheimer's disease. Side effect: diarrhea, dizziness, headache, confusion. Now, these drugs are for Parkinson's disease. Inbrija dofer levodopa inhalation, drug class anti-Parkinsonian drug. Brand name: Inbrija doper larodopa. Generic name: levodopa inhaler. Drug class anti-Parkinsonian drug. Inbrija doper larodopa. Generic name: levodopa inhaler. Drug class anti-Parkinsonia drug. Indication: Parkinson's disease. Often used with carbidopa to prevent the breakdown of levodopa and shuttle more to the brain. Indication: side effect: cough, cold-like symptoms, nausea, dark sweat, urine, and tears. Concertine, benzutrophin, drug class anti-Parkinsonia drug. Concertine, benzutrophin, drug class anti-Parkinsonia drug. Concertine, benzutrophin, drug class anti-Parkinsonia drug. Concertine, benzutrophin, drug class anti-Parkinsonia. Concertine, benzutrophin, drug class anti-Parkinsonia drug. Indication: Parkinson's disease. Benzutrophin is used with other drugs to treat symptoms such as spasms, 경련, stiffness, and tremors. Tremors are 떨림. Side effect: dry mouth, blurred vision, constipation, and nausea. Star level 50. Generic name is levodopa, carbidopa, entacapone. Brand name: Star level 50. Generic name: levodopa, carbidopa, entacapone. Drug class anti-Parkinsonian drug. Brand name: Star level 50. Generic name: levodopa, carbidopa, entacapone. Brand name: Stelova 50. Generic name: levodopa, carbidopa, entacapone. Drug class anti-Parkinsonian drug. Indication: Parkinson's disease. Entacapone and carbidopa prevent breakdown of levodopa to allow more to make it to the brain to be converted into dopamine. Side effect: cough, dry mouth, cold-like symptoms, nausea, and dark sweat, urine, or tears. Requip, ropinerol, ropinerol, drug class, anti-Parkinsonian drug. Requip, ropinerol is anti-Parkinsonian drug. Indication: Parkinson's disease, restless leg syndrome. Ropinerol is used with other drugs to treat symptoms such as spasms, stiffness, and tremors. Side effects: sleepiness, dizziness, orthostatic hypotension, pathological gambling, hallucination. Reglan, metoclopramide. Drug class, dopamine antagonist. Dopamine antagonist is type of neurotransmitter. Reglan, metoclopramide. Paramide. Okay. Reglan, metoclopramide. Drug class, dopamine antagonist. Reglan, metoclopramide. Drug class, dopamine antagonist. Reglan, metoclopramide. Drug class, dopamine antagonist. Dopamine antagonist is type of neurotransmitter. Reglan, metoclopramide is indication: increases muscle contraction of upper digestive tract, and heartburn caused by GI reflux, is also called GERD, and gastroparesis in patients with diabetes. These gastroparesis in patients with diabetes are conditions affect stomach muscle, prevent stomach emptying. Side effect: insomnia, headache, confusion, restless, lack of energy. And these are ADHD medications. Okay, lisdexamfetamine, 5 Ans. Drug class, CNS stimulant. Brand name, lisdexamfetamine. Drug class, CNS stimulant. Okay, lisdexamfetamine, 5 Ans. Drug class, CNS stimulant. Lisdexamfetamine, 5 Ans. Drug class, CNS stimulant. CNS stimulant is medicine that stimulates brain. It's called central nervous system. Indication: ADHD, binge eating disorder in adults. This medicine is not used, however, for obesity or weight loss. Side effect: dry mouth, loss of appetite, insomnia, fast heart rate, feeling jittery. Jittery is 불안. GI effects: nausea, stomach pain. Ritalin, Concerta. Methylphenidate. Drug class, CNS stimulant. Brand name, Ritalin, Concerta. Generic name, methylphenidate. Drug class, CNS stimulant. Ritalin, Concerta, methylphenidate. Ritalin, Concerta, methylphenidate. Ritalin, Concerta. Generic name, methylphenidate. Ritalin, Concerta, methylphenidate. Drug class, CNS stimulant. Methylphenidate is a form of amphetamine and so it carries risk of abuse potential. Indication ADHD. ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Side effect: excessive sweating, mood changes, irritability, loss of appetite, weight loss, dry mouth, and nausea. Strattera atomoxetine, drug class NRI. Strattera atomoxetine, drug class NRI. NRI is norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. It's non-stimulant. Strattera atomoxetine, drug class NRI. NRI or norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. It's non-stimulant. Indication: ADHD is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. As side effect: loss of appetite and dry mouth, fatigue, dizziness, abdominal pain, impotence, sexual dysfunction. Otrexop, Rheumatrix. Rheumatrix. Brand name Otrexop Rheumatrix. Generic name methotrexate. Drug class DMRD. DMRD is disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drug. Brand name Otrexop Rheumatrix. Brand name Otrexop Rheumatrix. Genetic name methotrexate. Brand name DMRD. Otrexop Rheumatrix methotrexate. Otrexop Rheumatrix methotrexate. Orexop Rheumatrix methotrexate. Drug name DMRD. DMRD is disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs. Indication: cancers, breast, lungs, head and neck, skin. Rheumatoid arthritis. Side effect: pulmonary fibrosis and hepatotoxicity, mouth sores, fever, chills, tiredness, fatigue. Brand name Embryo. Genetic name etanercept. Drug class DMARD. Disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drug. Embryo etanercept. Drug class DMARD. Embryo etanercept DMARD. Embryo etanercept. Drug class DMNRD. Embryo etanercept. Brand name generic drug name, drug class DMNRD. Indication: rheumatoid arthritis and psoriatic arthritis and plaque psoriasis. Indication: rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, and plaque psoriasis. Side effect: pain or swelling at injection site, headache, cold-like symptoms, nausea, and vomiting. Avastatin. Bevacizumab is anti-cancer drug. Avastin. Brand name Avastin. Bevacizumab. Drug class anti-cancer drug. Avastin. Bevacizumab. Avastin, bevacizumab, Avastin, bevacizumab, drug class anti-cancer drug, Bevastin, bevacizumab, bevacizumab, anti-cancer drug, bevacizumab, anti-cancer drug. Bevacizumab prevents formation of blood vessels that feed cancers. Indication: brain tumors and cancers of kidney, lung, colon, cervix, ovary, and fallopian tube. Side effect: nosebleed, rectal bleeding, increased blood pressure, dry or watery eyes, changes to sense of taste. Alimida, pemetrexed. Alimida, pemetrexed. Drug class anti-cancer drug. Alimida, pemetrexed. Anti-cancer drug. Alimida, pemetrexed. Drug class anti-cancer drug. Pemetrexed works by preventing the formation of DNA, RNA, which is needed for cell replication. Replication은 뭔지 알아? It's 복제. Indication: non-small cell lung cancer, malignant pleural mesothelioma. Indication: non-small cell lung cancer. Indication: malignant pleural mesothelioma. Indication: non-small cell lung cancer. Malignant pleural mesothelioma. Side effect: mental fatigue, exhaustion, low blood cell counts, mouth and gum sores, ulcers, and skin rash. Remicade, infliximab. Drug class monoclonal antibody. Remicade, infliximab. Drug class monoclonal antibody. Remicade, infliximab, monoclonal antibody. Remicade, infliximab, monoclonal antibody. Remicade, infliximab, monoclonal antibody. Indication: autoimmune disease such as rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, and Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and ankylosing spondylitis. Side effect: increased risk of infection, abdominal pain, reactivation of hepatitis B, drug-induced lupus. Xolair, omalizumab. Drug class monoclonal antibody. Xolair, omalizumab. Drug class monoclonal antibody. Xolair, omalizumab. Drug class monoclonal antibody. Indication: moderate to severe asthma that is caused by allergies in adults and children who are at least 6 years. Omalizumab is also used to treat chronic hives. Side effect: anaphylaxis, mild rash, fever, nosebleed, and arm, leg, or joint pain. Exjeva prolaya, denosumab. Exjeva prolaya, denosumab. Brand name: Exjeva prolaya. Generic name: denosumab. Drug class: monoclonal antibody. Exjeva prolaya, denosumab. Drug class, monoclonal antibody. Exjeva, Prolia, denosumab. Drug class, monoclonal antibody. Prolia brand used for osteoporosis. Indication, prevent bone fractures in patients with multiple myeloma. And the other indication is high blood level of calcium caused by cancers. Side effect, feeling tired or weak, pain, swelling in arms or legs, headache, back pain, diarrhea, constipation. Brand name Herceptin, genetic name trastuzumab. Drug class, monoclonal antibody. Herceptin, trastuzumab. Drug class, monoclonal antibody. Herceptin, trastuzumab, monoclonal antibody. Herceptin, trastuzumab. Drug class, monoclonal antibody. Herceptin, trastuzumab. Drug class, monoclonal antibody. Indication, breast cancer and stomach cancer. It is specifically used to treat breast cancer that is HER2 receptor positive. Side effect, heart problem, low blood cell counts, flu-like symptoms, blisters, ulceration of the mouth. These drugs are diabetes medication. It's by mouth and injectable. Actors, pioglitazone, diazolidine, dione, TZDs. Actors, pioglitazone, diazolidine, dione, TZDs. Actors, pioglitazone, diazolidine. It's by mouth. Actors, pioglitazone, diazolidine, dione, diazolidine, dione. Actors, pioglitazone, diazolidine, dione, diazolidine, dione, diazolidine, dione, diazolidine, dione, TZDs. Actors, pioglitazone, diazolidine, dione, TZDs. Actors, pioglitazone, diazolidine, dione, TZDs. By mouth. Indications, type 2 diabetes. Pioglitazone may be used in overweight patients in whom metformin is contraindicated, CUMGI, or not tolerated. Side effect, increased risk of bladder cancer, edema, 부종 of heart failure, increased risk of bone fractures, dizziness, disturbed vision. Invokana, canagliflozin, canagliflozin. Drug class, SGLT-2 inhibitor. Invokana, canagliflozin, SGLT-2 inhibitor. Invokana, canagliflozin, SGLT-2 inhibitor. Invokana, canagliflozin, SGLT-2 inhibitor. Invokana, canagliflozin, SGLT-2 inhibitor. SGLT2 inhibitors are drugs that end in flozin, are oral antibiotic drugs that work by inhibiting SGLT-2, helping kidneys remove glucose from bloodstream. Indication, type 2 diabetes. Side effect, infections, vaginal UTIs, nausea, constipation, hypotension, hernias, gangrene. Saxenda victosa, liraglutide, Saxenda victosa liraglutide, GLP-1 agonist, Saxenda victosa liraglutide, GLP-1 antagonist, Saxenda victosa liraglutide, GLP-1 antagonist, Saxenda victosa liraglutide, drug class GLP-1 antagonist, Saxenda victosa liraglutide, GLP-1 antagonist. GLP-1 antagonists are glucagon-like peptide 1 antagonists. These drugs are injectable. Indication: Saxenda brand used with diet and exercise to help weight loss. Victoza brand is used to reduce the risk of heart problems in patients with type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Side effect: hypoglycemia, loss of appetite, diarrhea, constipation, fatigue. Humalog, insulin lispro, drug class rapid-acting insulin. Humalog, insulin lispro, its drug class is rapid-acting insulin. Humalog, insulin lispro, drug class rapid-acting insulin. Humalog, insulin lispro indications are insulin lispro is used in type 1 and type 2 diabetes to control blood sugar level. Rapid-acting insulin starts to work after 15 minutes, peak at 1 hour, and lasts for 2 to 4 hours. Side effect: hypoglycemia, weight gain, swelling of hands or feet, itching, thickening of INJ side skin. Levemir, insulin detamir, drug class long-acting insulin. 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 Long-acting insulin works several hours after administration and works evenly for 24 hours. Levemir insulin detamir indication are lower blood sugar in adult or children who are at least 2 years with diabetes. Side effect: hypoglycemia, weight gain, itch, mild skin rash, thickening of injection side skin. Lantus, insulin glargine. Lantus, insulin glargine, drug class long-acting insulin. Lantus, insulin glargine, drug class long-acting insulin. Lantus, insulin glargine, long-acting insulin. Insulin's hormone produced in the pancreas. Lack of insulin causes diabetes. Lactose insulin glargine indications are adults with type 1, type 2 diabetes, or in children 6 years with type 1. Long-acting insulin that works several hours after administration and works evenly for 24 hours. Side effect: hypoglycemia, weight gain, itch, mild skin rash, thickening of injection side skin. Humulin, insulin isophane, drug class intermediate insulin. Humulin, insulin isophane, drug class intermediate insulin. Humulin, insulin isophane, intermediate insulin. Humulin, insulin isophane, drug class intermediate insulin. Intermediate acting starts to work within 2 to 4 hours, peak at 2 to 12 hours, and lasts for 12 to 18 hours. Humulin insulin isophane indications are improved blood sugar levels, in adults or children with diabetes. Side effect: hypoglycemia, weight gain, itch, mouth skin rash, thickening of injection site skin. Novolog, insulin aspart. Drug class: fast-acting insulin. Novolog, insulin aspart. Drug class: fast-acting insulin. Novolog, insulin aspart. Drug class: fast-acting insulin. Fast-acting insulin starts 15 minutes, peak at 1 hour, and lasts for 2 to 4 hours. Novolog, insulin aspart indications are type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes in adult or children at least 2 years old. Side effect: hypoglycemia, blood sugar level is low. Hypoglycemia is blood sugar level is low. Weight gain, itch, mouth skin rash, and thickening of injection site skin. Amaryl glimepiride. Amaryl glimepiride. Drug class: anti-diabetic medicine. 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 Amaryl glimepiride. Anti-diabetic medicine. Amaryl glimepiride. Drug class: anti-diabetic medicine. Amaryl glimepiride. Anti-diabetic medicine. Glimepiride belongs to the sulfonylurea class of oral antibiotic drugs. Amaryl glimepiride indications are used with diet and exercise to control blood sugar levels in patients with type 2 diabetes. Side effects: hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is low blood sugar. And another side effect is nausea, heartburn, feeling full, muscle or joint pain, mild rash or redness. Glucophage fortamed, metformin. Glucophage fortamed, metformin. Brand name: Glucophage fortamed. Generic name is metformin. Drug class: oral anti-diabetic drug. Glucophage fortamed, metformin, oral anti-diabetic drug. Glucophage fortamed, metformin, oral anti-diabetic drug. Glucophage fortamed, metformin indications are type 2 diabetes, polycystic ovary syndrome. It's also called PCOS. Note: metformin is a bioagonist drug that works as an insulin sensitizer. Side effect: taste disturbances, lactic acidosis, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and weight loss. Diabeta glyburide. Drug class: anti-diabetic medicine. Brand name: Diabeta. Generic name: glyburide. Anti-diabetic medicine. Diabeta 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 glyburide indications are used with diet and exercise to control blood sugar level in patients with type 2 diabetes. Note: glyburide belongs to the sulfonylurea class of oral antidiabetic drugs. Side effect: hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is low blood sugar. Another side effect is nausea, heartburn, feeling full, muscle or joint pain, mild rash or redness. Glucotrol, glipizide, glucotrol, glipizide, anti-diabetic drug. 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 Glucotrol, glipizide indications are type 2 diabetes. Note: glipizide belongs to the sulfonylurea class of oral antidiabetic drug. Side effect: hypoglycemia, low blood, nausea, diarrhea, headache, and sleepiness. Januvia, sitagliptin, anti-diabetic drug. Januvia, sitagliptin, anti-diabetic drug. Januvia, sitagliptin, anti-diabetic drug. Januvia, sitagliptin indications are type 2 diabetes. Note: sitagliptin is a DPP4 inhibitor. By inhibiting this enzyme, the drug lowers blood glucose level. Side effect: leg swelling, upper respiratory infections, headache, and photosensitivity. These are cholesterol drugs. Crestor, rosuvastatin, drug class statin. Crestor, rosuvastatin, drug class statin. Crestor, rosuvastatin, statin. Statin reduces production of cholesterol made by the liver. Crestor, rosuvastatin indications are hyperlipidemia, its lower LDL cholesterol level, and prevention of cardiovascular disease. Note: avoid grapefruit juice. It increases the risk of severe side effect. Side effect: muscle pain. It's called myopathy. Other side effects are elevated liver enzymes, headache, increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Pravachol, pravastatin, drug class statin. 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 Statins are HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor, and it's a cholesterol medication. Note: avoid grapefruit juice. It increases the risk of severe side effect. Pravachol, pravastatin indications are hyperlipidemia. Hyperlipidemia is blood has too much lipid, fat. Also, other indications are prevention of cardiovascular disease. So indications are hyperlipidemia and prevention of cardiovascular disease. Side effect: muscle pain, myopathies, and other elevated liver enzyme increase the risk of type 2 diabetes and headache. Mevacor, Autoprev, lovastatin, drug class statin. 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 Note: avoid grapefruit juice. It increases the risk of severe side effect. Mevacor, Autoprev, lovastatin indication are hyperlipidemia and prevention of CV disease. Side effect: muscle pain, myopathies, elevated liver enzymes, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, and headache. Zocor, simvastatin, drug class statin. Zocor, simvastatin, drug class statin. Zocor, Simvastatin, drug class, statin. Statins are HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor. Statins are cholesterol-lowering drug and also prevention of cardiovascular disease. Zocor, simvastatin indications are hyperlipidemia and prevention of cardiovascular disease. Also, statins works by inhibiting the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase. Side effect: muscle pain, myopathy, elevated liver enzyme, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, and headache. Lipitor, atorvastatin. Lipitor, atorvastatin, drug class, statin. 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 Lipitor, atorvastatin indications are hyperlipidemia, prevention of cardiovascular disease. Note: HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors are statin, and avoid grapefruit juice. It increases the risk of severe side effect. Side effect: muscle pain, myopathies, elevated liver enzymes, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, and headache. Tricor, Antera, fenofibrate, drug class, fibrate. Tricor, Antera, fenofibrate, drug class, fibrate. Tricor, Antera, fenofibrate, drug class, fibrate. Tricor, Antera, fenofibrate, fibrate. Tricor, Antera, fenofibrate, drug class, fibrate. Fibrate reduce cholesterol and triglyceride levels. It used to recommend along with changes to diet and exercise. Tricor, Antera, and fenofibrate indications are high blood triglycerides, high blood cholesterol. Side effect: muscle aches and pain, runny nose, sneezing, elevated liver enzymes. Lopid, gemfibrozil, drug class, fibrate. Lopid, gemfibrozil, fibrate. Lopid, gemfibrozil, drug class, fibrate. Lopid, gemfibrozil, drug class, fibrate. Lopid, gemfibrozil, drug class, fibrate. Lopid, gemfibrozil indications are high blood cholesterol and high blood triglycerides. Note: its use is recommended along with changes to diet and exercise. Side effect: fatigue, dizziness, numbness or tingly sensations, headache, muscle or joint pain. Lovaza, omega-3 fatty acids or omega-3 fatty acid ethoesters, drug class, fatty acid. Lovaza, omega-3 fatty acid or omega-3 fatty acid ethoesters, drug class, fatty acid. Lovaza, omega-3 fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acid ethoesters. Lovaza, omega-3 fatty acids, drug class, fatty acids. Fatty acids reduce cholesterol and triglyceride level. Lovaza, omega-3 fatty acid indications are high blood triglycerides. Triglycerides are a type of fat found in the body. Note: its use is recommended along with changes to diet and exercise. By lowering triglycerides, it also reduces risk of pancreatitis, Pancreatitis is 췌장 inflammation. Side effect: loss of appetite, diarrhea, upset stomach, back pain, altered sense of taste. Zetia ezetimibe. Zetia ezetimibe, drug class, anti-cholesterol drug. Zetia ezetimibe, drug class, anti-cholesterol drug. Zetia ezetimibe, anti-cholesterol drug. Zetia ezetimibe, drug class, anti-cholesterol drug. Zetia ezetimibe. Indications are high blood cholesterol, genetic conditions where high cholesterol remain a risk. Indications are high blood cholesterol, genetic conditions where high cholesterol remains a risk. Note: it decreases cholesterol absorption in the intestine. Side effect: respiratory tract infection, diarrhea, tiredness, joint pain. Levitra, vardenafil. Levitra, vardenafil, drug class, PDE5 inhibitor. Levitra, vardenafil, PDE5 inhibitor. Levitra, vardenafil, drug class, PDE5 inhibitor. Levitra, vardenafil, drug class, PDE5 inhibitor. PDE5 inhibitor is phosphodiesterase type 5 inhibitor. Vasodilation in the penis. Vasodilation is a 혈관확장. Vasodilation in the penis and lung. It's a vasodilation drug. PDE5 inhibitor is vasodilation drug. Levitra, vardenafil. Indications are primary pulmonary hypertension, erectile dysfunction. Note: PDE5 is an enzyme which, when inhibited, and relaxes blood vessel. Side effect: flushing, hypotension, dizziness, nasal congestion, and headache. Viagra, sildenafil, in the drug class, PDE5 inhibitor. Phosphodiesterase type 5. Viagra, sildenafil, PDE5 inhibitor. 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 PDE5 inhibitors are enzyme which, when inhibited, relaxes blood vessel. Viagra, sildenafil. Indications are primary pulmonary hypertension and erectile dysfunction. Side effect: flushing, hypotension, dizziness, nasal congestion, and headache. Cialis, tadalafil, drug class, PDE5 inhibitor. Cialis, tadalafil, PDE5 inhibitor. Cialis, tadalafil, CDE5 inhibitor. Cialis, tadalafil, CDE5 inhibitor. CDE5 is phosphodiesterase type 5. PDE5 inhibitors are an enzyme which, when inhibited, and relaxes blood vessel. Cialis, tadalafil. Indications are primary pulmonary hypertension and erectile dysfunction. Side effects are flushing, hypotension, dizziness, nasal congestion, and headache. Apresolin, hydralazine, drug class, antihypertensive drug. Apresolin, hydralazine, drug class antihypertensive drug. Apresolin, hydralazine, drug class antihypertensive drug. Prednisolone, presolin, hydralazine, presolin, hydralazine, antihypertensive drug. Presolin, hydralazine, antihypertensive drug. Presolin, hydralazine, antihypertensive drug. Presolin and hydralazine, antihypertensive drug. Presolin, hydralazine, antihypertensive drug. Antihypertensive drugs used to treat hypertension. Presolin, hydralazine indications are hypertension in pregnancy. Hydralazine, note, hydralazine works by relaxing vascular smooth muscle. Side effect, headache, high heart rate, palpitation. Palpitation is 심장박동이 빨리 뛰는 거. And loss of appetite. Hytrin, terazosin, drug class alpha-1 blocker. Suffix osin. Hytrin, terazosin, drug class alpha-1 blocker. Suffix osin. Hytrin, terazosin, alpha-1 blocker. Suffix osin. Alpha-1 blocker blocks the effect of catecholamines. Catecholamines helps body respond stress. Hytrin, terazosin, alpha-1 blocker. Hytrin, terazosin, alpha-1 blocker. Hytrin, terazosin indications are enlarged prostate. Prostates are 전립선. And other indication is high blood pressure. Note, usually used as a last resort when other drug fails to sufficiently reduce blood pressure. Side effect, postural hypotension, dizziness, faintness, and nausea. Cadura, doxazosin, alpha-1 blocker. Cadura, doxazosin, alpha-1 blocker. Cadura, doxazosin, drug class alpha-1 blocker. Cadura, doxazosin, drug class alpha-1 blocker. Cadura, doxazosin, alpha-1 blocker. Cadura, doxazosin, alpha-1 blocker. Cadura, doxazosin indications are enlarged prostate and high blood pressure. Note, usually used as a last resort when other drugs fail to sufficiently reduce blood pressure. Side effect, postural hypotension, 저혈압, and dizziness, faintness, nausea. Eurosactural, afuzosine, alpha-1 blocker. Eurosactural, afuzosine, drug class alpha-1 blocker. Eurosactural, afuzosine, drug class alpha-1 blocker. Eurosactural, afuzosine, alpha-1 blocker. Eurosactural, afuzosine, drug class alpha-1 blocker. Alpha-1 blocker usually used as last resort when other drugs fail to sufficiently reduce blood pressure. Okay. Eurosactural, afuzosine indications are enlarged prostate, high blood pressure. Side effects are postural hypotension, dizziness, faintness, and nausea. These are blood thinner medications. Coumadin, warfarin, drug class anticoagulant drug. Coumadin, warfarin, anticoagulant drug. Coumadin, warfarin, anticoagulant drug. Warfarin is narrow spectrum drug, meaning difference between therapeutic and toxic doses is very small. Warfarin common indications are venous thromboembolism. Venous thromboembolism is a blood clot, and deep vein thrombosis. Thrombosis are when blood clot blocks veins and arteries. And another indications are prevent stroke in patients with arterial fibrillation or after heart valves replacement. Side effect, bleeding. Coumadin, warfarin, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Coumadin, warfarin indications are venous thromboembolism, deep vein thrombosis, and prevent stroke in patients with arterial fibrillation or after heart valves replacement. Side effect, bleeding. Lovenox, enoxaparin, enoxaparin, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Lovenox, enoxaparin, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Lovenox, enoxaparin, anticoagulant drug. Lovenox, enoxaparin, anticoagulant drug. Lovenox, enoxaparin indications are prevent or treat deep vein thrombosis to prevent the clot from dislodging and causing pulmonary embolism. Note: drugs ending in parin are low molecular weight derivatives of heparin. Side effect: nausea, diarrhea, anemia, confusion, and pain, redness at injection site. Paradasa, dabigatran, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Paradasa, dabigatran, anticoagulant drug. Paradasa, dabigatran, anticoagulant drug. Paradasa, dabigatran, anticoagulant drug. Paradasa, dabigatran indications are prevent blood clots, prevent stroke in patients with arterial fibrillation. Side effects: stomach discomfort, indigestion, nausea, diarrhea, increased risk of bleeding. Soreto, rivaloxaban, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Soreto, rivaroxaban, 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 anticoagulant drug. Soreto and rivaroxaban indications are prevent or treat deep vein thrombosis to prevent the clot from dislodging and causing pulmonary embolism. Indications are prevent or treat deep vein thrombosis to prevent the clot from dislodging and causing pulmonary embolism. Side effect: muscle pain, itch, pain in arms or legs, increased risk of bleeding. Eliquis, apixaban, drug class, anticoagulant. Eliquis, apixaban, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Eliquis, apixaban, anticoagulant drug. Eliquis, apixaban, anticoagulant drug. Eliquis, apixaban indications are lower the risk of blood clot, in people with atrial fibrillation or in patients who have just had hip or knee replacement surgery. Note, it's also used to treat DVT and pulmonary edema. Side effect, bleeding and nausea. Heparin sodium advantage. Heparin, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Heparin sodium advantage. Heparin, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Heparin sodium advantage. Heparin, anticoagulant drug. Heparin sodium advantage. Heparin, anticoagulant drug. Heparin sodium advantage. Heparin, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Anticoagulant drugs are blood thinners, and heart disease medicine helps prevent clots from forming in blood vessel. Heparin sodium advantage and heparin indications are venous thromboembolism, deep vein thrombosis, acute coronary syndrome. Note, heparin works by blocking thrombin and factor 10A. Side effect, bleeding, injection site reactions, thrombocytopenia. Thrombocytopenia. Fragmin, dalteparin, drug class, anticoagulant. Fragmin, dalteparin, drug class, anticoagulant drug. Fragmin, dalteparin, anticoagulant drug. Fragmin, dalteparin, anticoagulant drug. Fragmin, dalteparin, anticoagulant drug. Fragmin, dalteparin. Indications are prevent or treat deep vein thrombosis to prevent the clot, thrombosis. Indications again are prevent or treat deep vein thrombosis to prevent the clot. Indications are prevent or treat deep vein thrombosis to prevent the clot from dislodging and causing pulmonary embolism. Note, drugs ending in parin are low molecular weight derivatives of heparin. Side effect, nausea, diarrhea, anemia, confusion, pain, redness at injection site. Plavix, clopidogrel, antiplatelet drug. Plavix, clopidogrel, antiplatelet drug. Plavix, clopidogrel, antiplatelet drug. Plavix, clopidogrel, drug class, antiplatelet drug. Plavix, clopidogrel, antiplatelet drug. Plavix, clopidogrel, Plavix, clopidogrel, Plavix, clopidogrel, Plavix, clopidogrel, drug class, antiplatelet drug. Antiplatelet drugs are a group of medicine that stop blood vessel platelets from sticking together and forming blood clot, decrease risk of heart attack and stroke. Plavix, clopidogrel indications are acute coronary syndrome. It's also called ACS. And other indications are prevent blockage of stents, prevention CV disease, reduce stroke risk in patients with atrial fibrillation. Side effect, increased risk of bleeding, dyspepsia, abdominal pain, and diarrhea.